Today we are going to discuss about the brainstem. So what is the brainstem? The brainstem is the part of central nervous system which connects spinal cord to the forebrain. So it is a stalk-like structure. The brainstem is a stalk-like structure which connects the spinal cord. Spinal cord is the lowermost part of the cylindrical part of the central nervous system, whereas the forebrain is mainly involving the cerebral hemisphere. So the brainstem is the stalk-like structure that is in between, which connects the spinal cord to the forebrain. So the brainstem has got three parts. From below upwards, it has got three parts. That is, the lowermost part of the brainstem is called medulla, then followed by pons, then followed by midbrain. So you have three parts of the brainstem. From below upwards, you have the medulla, you have the pons, and you have the midbrain. The question where this brainstem is located. The brainstem is located in the posterior cranial fossa. You have seen the cranial cavity. Within the cranial cavity, you can appreciate anterior, middle, and posterior cranial fossa. The brainstem is located in the posterior cranial fossa, and mainly it has got two surfaces. This is the ventral surface of the brainstem. This is the dorsal surface of the brainstem. The ventral surface of the brainstem is located on the clivus. So if you take the posterior cranial fossa, the two bones will be articulating to form the clivus. That is called basis sphenoid and basis occiput, and there will be foramina magnum. So there will be basis sphenoid and basis occiput will articulate with each other. That part is called clivus. So the brainstem is located just on the clivus. So this is the clivus. It is located on the clivus, and posteriorly the brainstem is related to cerebellum. So posteriorly the brainstem is related to cerebellum. So this is cerebellum. Between the brainstem and the cerebellum there is a cavity. So this cavity is called fourth ventricle. So the brain is having a cavity. The cavity of the cerebral hemisphere will be lateral ventricle. The cavity of the diencephalon is the third ventricle, and the cavity of the midbrain is called cerebral aqueduct, and the cavity of the hindbrain is called as fourth ventricle. This fourth ventricle is connected to the third ventricle, which is we're going to discuss later. Fourth ventricle is connected to the third ventricle by cerebral aqueduct or aqueduct of Sylvius, and this fourth ventricle, it continues downwards. This fourth ventricle continues downwards within the spinal cord as the central canal of the spinal cord. So this is the general introduction about the brainstem. So what are the most important features of the brainstem as a whole before going to the medulla? The most important features of the brainstem as a whole, if you see, in case of spinal cord, the gray matter is aggregated in the center. There is a central gray matter and a peripheral white matter. Whereas in case of brainstem, the gray matter is not united in the center. However, it is discrete and it is arranged in the form of a nuclei. So there are various nuclei will be there that brainstem. Apart from that, all ascending and descending tracts will be there. So those who are moving upwards from the spinal cord or those who are moving downwards into the spinal cord, that is both sensory and motor fibers will be there in the brainstem along with the so many nuclei. Now the most important function of the brainstem includes, first, it acts as a gateway for all ascending and descending tracts. That is the most important. It is a pathway or it is a channel where it accumulates all the ascending and descending tracts. That is from the forebrain to the spinal cord or spinal cord to the forebrain. Next most important feature of the brainstem, it consists of a reticular activating system. Reticular activating system which controls consciousness. Apart from that, the brainstem is having the reflex center, mainly include the vital reflex center like cardiac center, then it has the vasomotor center, then it has respiratory center. So all important centers will be located in the brainstem. Apart from that, it also has the cranial nerve nuclei. The cranial nerve nuclei, the lower 10 cranial nerve nuclei, the lower 10 cranial nerve nuclei will be present in the brainstem. So the most important functions of the brainstem include, it is a site for all the ascending and descending tracts which are going and to and fro from the spinal cord. It consists of reticular activating system which maintains the consciousness, and it has important centers The reflex center, cardiac center, vasomotor center, respiratory center, and it is having the lower 10 cranial nerve nuclei.